All right, so here we go. So now let's look at positive and negative numbers again. Because no matter what level of math you're doing, you're always going to run into adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. So first I want you to tell me the answer to these in the chat. And so first I'm just going to start with colors. All right. Simplify. So, and what I'm going to give you, for example, so I have 7 red plus 4 red, so I would have 11 red, for example. Number 2, so this is 8 blue plus 2 blue, so that's obviously 10 blue. So what is 9 red? Now we're just looking at colors only, not signs, not positive or negative, just colors. Okay, so if I have 9 red and 6 blue, what should the answer be? Someone tell me in the chat. Can everybody see the board? Okay. I like that, Christopher. Keep it color. So if we have 9 red and 6 blue, what should we have? We know if we have reds and reds, we get more reds. If we have blues and blues, we get more blues. But what if we have reds and blues? All right. So if we have 9 bloods and 6 crips, how many people going home? Now, 15 people ain't going home. Now, if we're talking bloods and crips, not in my neighborhood. So for this one, we're going to have these things out the way. Here we go. So the answer to this one would be 3 reds, because I have more reds than blues. So each red cancels out 1 blue. And so there's going to be more reds. So look at it this way. If we have 5 Democrats plus 11, let's hope not, Republicans, who wins the vote and by how many? Who wins? You can unmute or you can put it in the chat. I need to know which party wins and by how many. There you go, exactly. Republicans win, very good. So they win by, the Republicans, they win by 6, right? So the idea of positive and negative numbers is you have to think of them as Democrats and Republicans. So it's real easy to say 7 Republicans plus 4 Republicans. We know we get more Republicans. We would get 11 Republicans. So adding Republicans together is easy. Adding Democrats together is easy. The challenge only comes when we have Democrats and Republicans. But notice, if I give you Democrats and Republicans, you have no problem. So if I'm going to say R equals Republicans, D, obviously, Democrats. So now I want you to simplify, and I want you to write the answer to these 3 problems in the chat once you get it. The first one, 40R plus 8D, 12D minus 15D. I'm sorry, plus 12D, there we go. And 17D plus 4R. So we're looking at Democrats and Republicans. We have 40 Republicans. Number one, 40 Republicans plus 8 Democrats. Number two, 12 Democrats plus 15 Democrats. And then number three, 17 Democrats plus 4 Republicans. So let me know in the chat what you would get for each. I see you, Brian, on top of game. I see you, Brian. Brian, you said, okay, number one, you said we have more Republicans and Democrats, okay? I need some more answers, people. Put them in the chat. Brian started us off with a great start. Good job, Brian. So remember, when we're looking at these, we're looking at things that are like and things that are opposite. So we have Republicans and Democrats. Think, okay, if they're voting, 40 Republicans plus 8 Democrats, who's going to win? Marisol, good job, good job. I see you, Brian. Come on, students, show me what you got. I need to see an answer. I need to see a question in the chat. There we go. Let's look at number one. If we have 40 Republicans, 8 Democrats, obviously there's way more Republicans, right? How many more? So when there's different signs, we subtract. So 40 minus 8 is 32. So when you have opposite signs, then you know you take the big number minus the small number. So we get 32. Now the question is 32 what? So whichever one is bigger, in this case, Republicans were bigger. So it's 32 Republicans will be the answer. Number two is a piece of cake. We have Democrats plus Democrats. We just get more Democrats. So that's 27 Democrats. Then once again, for number three, we have Democrats and Republicans. Those are opposites. So there are more Democrats. So you at least know this. The answer has to be something Democrats because there were more Democrats to start. So once again, you take the big number, 17, that's the big number, minus the smaller number, 4. And that gives us 13. So it's 13 Democrats as the answer. All right. Now, once again, I'm going to give you some more problems here. And I'm going to need students. I'm going to need you to write some answers and put them in the chat. And if there's a problem you don't understand, unmute and ask. But remember, the way I'm teaching or the way we're doing this is I'm assuming you're already a genius. So I'm going to give you the problems that I would give to a child who's a genius. And then we work through those together. So my philosophy is if you're a genius, I'm going to give you the problems that most people find challenging. And I'm going to give you so many of these that once you get those, everything else becomes easier. All right. I don't know about your teachers, but most teachers start with the simplest problems and build up to the challenging problems. But I'm assuming everyone here is a genius. So we're going to start with the most challenging problems. All right. And then work back to the simple ones. Here we go. So you should have your whiteboards ready to go on how to simplify these. First one, -8 minus 6. So this one visually is challenging to students. All right. So I'm going to write it a different way. -8 plus -6. So these two problems are the exact same problems. So there's two things we have to understand. One, this negative in front of the 8, remember, that is an adjective. It describes the 8. So it's telling us that this 8 is, say, Republican, right? And then this one here, this is the verb. It's an action telling us to subtract, to take away. All right. So for some people, seeing these two, understanding that -8 minus 6 means it's really two negatives, so it would be a negative 14 is one way of seeing this. If you don't see it that way yet, that's perfectly fine. So anytime you have subtraction, you can always change it, like below, change it to addition, and then change the sign of the following number. If you do that, so if you make all subtraction problems addition problems, visually they're much easier to see, because now you just see, oh, it's a Republican plus Republican, which means it's some other Republican. So -8 plus -6 will be -14. So let me give you another one here to see. Number 2, 14 minus 19. This is the other one that's a challenge, when you have a smaller number and you're taking away a larger number. So for a lot of you students, y'all don't have credit cards yet. But us grown folks who have credit cards understand this all the time, that we have $14, but we charge on that credit card something for $19, and we owe that credit card some money that we go pay back later. So kids, y'all get to that game a little later. So I just want you to see that this 14 minus 19 is the same as 14 plus -19. So what happens is when I change the subtraction to addition and I change the sign of the next number, what that allows you to see is to see that you can have a Republican and a Democrat. It's like Republican plus Democrat. Then you can see, okay, now which one is larger? Oh, there's more Democrats, there's more negatives. So at least I know the answer is going to be negative to start. There's big number minus small number. 19 minus 14 is 5. So this answer would be -5. So there's two ways I want you to be able to look at it. One, working with subtraction as it is. If subtraction is difficult to see, like in problem 1 and problem 2, you can always change subtraction to addition, change the sign of the next number. So I'm gonna give you one more of these, then I'm gonna give you 3 to try on your lonesome. So what if we have -6 minus -9? Now we got a whole lot of negatives going on in this problem. So where do we start? First, I just want to be clear. This one here is an adjective, right? And then this one here is a verb. And this one here, once again, is an adjective. So remember, the adjective is the sign that comes before number. The verb is always the sign between the two numbers. If it's between two numbers, then it's a verb. So I'm going to rewrite this problem for us as -6. Remember, you can change subtraction to addition, but only if you change the sign of the next number. So this -9 now becomes +9. So here's a new problem. -6 plus 9. There's more positives than negatives, so I know my answer is going to be positive. And then 9 minus 6 is 3. Bingo. So now in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 5, I need everybody to respond. How well did you understand 1 through 3? 1, you're still super confused. Up to 5, I got it, LeBron. Let's just keep it going. So let me know in the chat. Okay, all right. Some 5, some 4.5s. Okay, cool. All right, am I getting something from everybody? All right, Leslie, that's good. Haley, Kevin Wu, where you at? Kevin, I didn't see your response. So I'm seeing 4s and 5s. Vincent, thank you. Okay, bingo. So here we go. Now I'm going to give you 3 to do on your own. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it, man. Good job, Vincent. Here we go. So now you're going to simplify these. That's number one, number two. And number three. All right, we're gonna try these three here. So try these three, 1, 2, and 3. And we're gonna put our answers in the chat box. If somebody wants a little extra challenge, here's some extra ones, but everyone just has to do number 1 through 3. So 4, 5, and 6 are bonus, but we have to do numbers 1 through 3. When you have those, put those in the chat for me. Remember, anybody has a question at any point, you can unmute and ask the question on 1, 2, or 3. Or you can put a question in the chat, or you can send me a private chat message if you have a question on 1, 2, or 3. But if there's any questions, we need to get those questions asked so we can all learn. Okay, so I'm looking for some answers in the chat. As soon as you get an answer to 1, 2, or 3, you guys can put those in the chat. Okay, thank you, Eric. All right, here we go. We got some answers. Danny, thank you. Thank you. We got some answers here. Let's look at these. Jeremiah, all right, thank you. Here we go. Wendy, answer number 1. Perfect, perfect. Camilla, great, great. All right, students, show me what you got. Put down what you have, kids. If you have, even if you just have number 1, just put number 1, but put something in the chat. Great job, Haley. Thank you so much, Haley. That's what I'm talking about. I need to get some answers from everybody. Burke, where you at? Kev, where you at? Johnny, great job. Leslie, great. Celeste, where you at, girl? All right. Thanks, Burke. I think that was a -3, Burke. Yeah, there you go. Great job. There we go. That's what I want to see, some feedback here. Great job. Perfect now. So let's go ahead and look at 1, 2, and 3. Let's look at number 1. So for number 1, I see this subtraction. I see a lot of negatives. So to make life easier, I'm going to change subtraction to addition and change the sign of the next number. Now it becomes -22 plus 19. What do I see? I see there's more negatives than positives. So the answer is going to be negative. And now big minus small. 22 minus 19 is 3. Boom. Answer is -3. Perfect. Number 2, once again, I see subtraction. So I'm going to change subtraction to addition change the sign to the next number. Now I see I have a negative plus a negative, so I know my answer is going to be a bigger negative. So -6 plus -14 is -20. Bingo. And now for the last one here. Here I'm going to see we have subtraction. I'm going to change it to addition and change the sign to the next number. So now it's 47 plus 47. So for this one, excuse me, when I see numbers that are to me that are big in my mind, because I'm telling you how I'm thinking, I think in terms of tens. How can I make things in terms of tens, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? So if I'm adding these two, I said 47, I'm not sure about, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 away from this 47 and give it to that 47, because 7 plus 3 is 10. So if I do 47 plus 3, now it's 50 plus 44. And so in my mind, 50 plus 44 is easier to add than 47 plus 47. So keep in mind, if you have numbers you're adding, how can you make tens? How can you make 20s? How can you make hundreds? Numbers that end in 0. So it's then easier to add them together. So I'm adding these two numbers. So I took 3 from this 47, gave it to the other one. Now it's 50 plus 44, which I can see is 94. Bingo. So there we go. So that's what we have for the first 3 here. All righty. And we got some answers here for 4, 5, and 6. So I want to make sure everyone's able to now try 4, 5, and 6. I'll go ahead and do number 4. So for number 4 here, it's like, okay, we have a lot of numbers going on here. So once again, I want to make subtraction addition. So I'm going to change this first subtraction to addition and make this a -8. Then I'm going to change this subtraction here and make this a -9, right? And so what then ends up happening is we go back to an oldie but a goodie, our friend PEMDAS, that order of operations. Remember that? So there's no parentheses, no exponents, no multiplication, no division. So we just add and subtract from left to right. Since these two are both negative, -6 plus -8, -14, plus that -9 plus 2. Once again, 2 negatives keeps it real simple. So watch this. -14 plus -9. In my mind, like I said, I like working with 10. So I'm going to take one of these negatives from that 14 and give it to the 10, so that it would be, watch up here, -13, because I took 1 from here, gave it to the 10, so -13 plus -10. Visually, to me, that's easier to see because I can add 10 to anything. So 13 plus 10, boom, is 23. So that's a -23. So that goes back to this principle I showed you here about making tens. This is one of the skills that you need to practice. And when you realize how you can move numbers around to make them more visually pleasing to your mind and eye, it's easier to get problems right, and you will avoid a lot of careless errors. Because careless errors come a lot here when you're doing things with 9. I don't know what it is about 9, but I think it's so close to 10 that kids typically struggle with 9, which is why I'll borrow a number some kind of way to make that 9 to 10 like we did here. -13 plus -10. Still now plus that 2. Since negative is 23 is a larger number, we know the answer is going to be negative. 23 minus 2, 21. Bingo. So now I need one of the students, someone to unmute and walk me through number 5 and tell me what to write. So I'll write it, but I need a student to tell me exactly what to do. I'm going to write whatever you say. Who's going to be the master student and unmute and tell us what to do today? Johnny Cruz, can you unmute and tell us what to do for number 5 and I'll write it for you? JC, you there? You taking the bathroom break. Where you at, Johnny? Okay, I know who's here. Burke. Burke, go ahead and unmute Burke and tell me what to write for number 5. We're going to solve number 5 together, Burke.
Burke went to the restroom.
Say it again, speak up.
Burke went to the restroom.
Oh, okay. How about Julian Escobar? Can you unmute for us, Julian, and tell us what to do for number 5? So anybody who's not in the bathroom now, can you put yourself on video? I'm just trying to see, because it looks like everyone is having a bowel movement and I can't get anybody to help me solve a problem. So I'm trying to see who is here that can help us solve this problem who ain't in the bathroom. Vincent, can you help us? Can you unmute Vincent?
Can you pull it back up?
Yeah, I'm putting it back up, man. Thank you, Vincent, for moving your bowel responsibly and not during class. I appreciate it, man. Go ahead, tell us what to do. Tell us what to do, Vincent.
14 minus 9.
Okay, 14 minus 9, bingo. And what do we get there?
You get 5, right? No, you get 5.
You get 5?
Yeah, 9 plus 5, 14.
Okay, here we go. So we get a 5. Okay, minus the -2. What do we do next?
So it's actually plus -2.
Okay, we do plus here. If I change subtraction to addition, what do I do to the next sign?
You change it as well.
There you go. Good job. So then now we have 5 plus 2, which is what?
7.
Thank you so much. Great job, Vincent. Great job, man. I appreciate you, man.
Let's go, Vincent.
Yes. Woo. So now watch again when we talk about, remember I told you about these tens. So when I look at 14 minus 9, since you guys are genius level, if 14 minus 9, I'm like, I'm taking away. Notice for the other problems when we did the tens, here we had addition, like at the 47 and the 47, right? So because it was addition, I could switch those numbers over. Here we have subtraction. So if I want this 9 to be a 10, which would help, what would I have to do to the 14? Anybody? So I added 1 to this 9 to make it a 10. What do I have to do to the 14?
You would have to add 6.
Well,
you would have to subtract 4. I apologize.
No, you're right. So for here, we have 14 minus 9. If I'm not sure what that would be, I know it's easy to subtract 10, just like it's easy to add 10. So I'm like, I'm gonna make this 9 a 10 by adding 1 to it, which means for the 14, I'm gonna add 1 to it.
Oh.
So it's still the same difference. Now, if I ask anybody what is 15 minus 10, everyone would know that's 5. But when you see 14 minus 9, some people think, okay, is that a 13? Is it a 15? Is it a 16? Because that 9 tends to be the tricky number. So when you're doing subtraction, if I add 1 to 9 to make it 10, then I add 1 to the other number, and it doesn't change the difference, but it changes it visually in my mind. Thank you so much, Johanna. All right, Vincent, you were a scholar, a German, and a scholar. Now I need one of the ladies, one of the students, to go ahead and walk us through number 6. So go ahead and unmute. Once again, I'm checking, I'm looking here. Who is a young lady that's, can you turn your cameras on, please, who's not in the restroom? Jackson, can you wave your hand at me, Jackson? Who's that sitting in front of Jackson's screen? All righty. Brianna, can you help us? Are you ready, Brianna? Yeah, I'm talking to you, girl.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up? Yeah, I need you to help me through this next problem, okay?
Okay.
I need you to talk me through it. Here, we're doing number 6 at the bottom. Tell me what to do, Brianna.
Okay, so let's see, you're gonna do -6 minus 10.
Okay. And what would that give us?
You get -4.
Okay, how did you get the -4? Explain it to me.
I'm not sure. Can you walk me through it?
Yep, no problem. I'm gonna start with this. Because I hate this subtraction, I'm gonna change the sign to addition and change the sign of the next number. So now, Brianna, what is -6 plus -10?
16, -16.
There you go, all day, -16. Now I'm gonna bring down the -7 and the -2. So tell me, what do we do next?
You do, hold on, hold on.
Okay.
You do -7 minus 2.
Okay, so remember PEMDAS, remember we work from left to right like we read a book. So if we're working left to right, which 2 should we deal with first?
Wait, what? Sorry.
Yes, so we have -16 -7 -2.
Okay, -16 minus 7.
There you go, all day. So do you want to leave this subtraction, or do you want to change it to addition?
Leave the subtraction.
Okay, so what is -16 minus 7?
I don't know.
Okay, now watch this. So hold on with me. You still with me, Brianna? Hold on. If I feel the same way with this -16 and 7. Now I'm like, they're both they're both subtraction. I see the negative sign on both.
Oh, -23.
Ah, there you go. Love it. There you go. Great job. So -23 minus 2. Now you're almost home. Now, here we go. So what is -23 minus 2?
-25.
Thank you very much. And the crowd goes crazy. Great job. Thank you so much. That wasn't too painful, was it?
Yeah, it kind of was, but
yes, there you go.
Nervous, okay.
Was it like a toothache or like slamming your finger in the door? Which one was it?
Toothache, probably.
We'll take a toothache. Not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. So we have a worksheet that we're gonna post so you guys can do more practice on positive and negative numbers. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Vincent, for being master students and stepping up. And so for the remainder of time, we're going to go back to dealing with fractions. All righty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 or 2 fraction problems. Then I'm going to put you in the breakout rooms for a couple of minutes. Y'all good with that? All right, here we go. Let me find my screen. All right, I don't know who this person is. Wait a minute.
So the breakout rooms, they should be already done.
It should already be done?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe there's a couple people, but when you press breakout room, it's just a matter of like opening the rooms.
Okay, I'll open the room. Okay, so what we're gonna do, since we started on adding, subtract, I wanna make sure we all are good on this. So if you can see, if someone who's unmuted, if you can see the problems on the board, tell me yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, right. So in our breakout rooms, we're gonna do problems 1 through 10, all right? And so I'm asking that everyone on your whiteboards, you're gonna do number 1 on one side. Well, these are simple. You can do 1 and 2 on the one side, and then 3 and 4, and then share those in your group. Once everybody's cool on those, then you can erase and go to the next 4. All right? So I'm gonna take this. I'm showing you these problems here. I'm gonna go ahead and put these into the chat, but I just want to show you first that we're gonna do these 10, but you're gonna do 4 at a time in your group. All right, so I need to see if everyone got those directions. Let me see a thumbs up to make sure everybody heard the directions. Okay, fantastic. There you go. So now I'm going to move you all to your breakout rooms. All right, and we're going to take 10 minutes to do those 10 problems. All right. All right, Nancy, can you help me assign that they didn't all jump right to the another fantastic day of learning. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, peace out.
I added it on there.
Wait, say that again, please, Nancy.
The worksheets, all 4 of them can be found on the website as well.
Okay, fantastic.
There
All right, Lucille, bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye, Haley. Bye, Priscilla. All right.